Hello guys. Actually, it was going very well, but once again, Corona attacked, and you are at home. So, once again, I welcome you on our own channel, that is The Teacher's Amazing World by Suwarna Kulkarni. Here we are going to see the lesson from Unit 3, and that is 3.4, The Two Gentlemen of Verona. First of all, there is given the book review. We have to complete it first, and then we shall move to the lesson, The Two Gentlemen of Verona. Why they told us to do the book review and all these things, we shall see when we'll begin the lesson. But first of all, let us complete the book review. Let us see what is review. Whatever we viewed, explaining it again, sometimes critically, we can call it reviews. मराठीत त्यासाठी शब्द आहे पुनरावलोकन. Let us watch this short clip.
Joker, which tells the origin story of one of the most unhinged comic book villains ever, left me feeling conflicted. Joaquin Phoenix is brilliant and the film is undeniably fascinating, but the violence is unsettling and leans dangerously close to being irresponsible. Previously, The Dark Knight and 1989's Batman allowed fine actors like Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson to showcase the character's sadistic villainy in smart and unforgettable ways. This film puts him front and center of the narrative, making him the hero of his own story as it deep dives into his psyche to understand what could possibly push an ordinary man to commit acts of such extraordinary cruelty and violence.
And this is film review by Raju Masand. He's telling us good or positive and bad or negative of a film. Let us see one more video.
Robin Sharma's new book In Your Life, and in today's video I'm going to tell you about how this book is, my mini review of this book, and some of the greatest takeaways that I've had from this book, and I'll be sharing my honest opinions about this book with you guys. If I have to tell you about this book in a nutshell, it is a brilliant book, but the substance of this book actually begins after this book is halfway through, so you can actually skip the first half if you want to and delve into the later half, because that's where the gems are. Robin Sharma is a brilliant man. He provides a lot of value in all his works, and this book is not an exception. But I feel that the way he has written this book, there's a lot of fiction that sort of distills the content of this book, and you really have to dig to find the gems inside this book. And
she is Saheli Chatterjee. It's her channel on YouTube, Haley. Here you can watch so many very descriptive and fantastic book reviews. Now let us turn to book review from our textbook. A book review is an analysis of a newly published book by an expert who expresses his or her opinion about the contents, style, and merit. Book reviews are published in newspapers, magazines, and are also available online. Let's do book review with the help of the points given in our textbook. Let us see the book review. Name of the storybook: Don Quixote. Writer: Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra. Some information about the writer. He is often called Cervantes. He was a Spanish novelist, poet, and playwright. Don Quixote, considered to be the first modern European novel in a classic of Western literature. Background or setting. The hero of the novel from country area La Mancha. He is a poor man and he is dreamy. Main characters: Don Quixote, Sancho Panza. Central idea or summary. The novel is merely a humorous story of a poor man who is dreaming about to be the knight, who wanted to prove himself a brave man, but he couldn't. Then too, his getting wise partnership of Sancho Panza and the irony of a common man who usually trying to be big, but due to his own limits can't, and facing so many problems while trying to fulfill dreams. Style and language. As the novel had been written in 1615, it is having olden style of writing. As it is from olden era, it is dealt with chivalry. It's in olden Spanish language, which is translated into English. Illustration? No. Strong or positive aspects. The novel can be enjoyed by children too. It's just an innocent scenario of a common man. Drawbacks? It's a little lengthy. Conclusion. One can read it to enjoy the pure literature. It's easy to understand. Characters are just making to be fallen in love with them, especially hero of the novel, Don Quixote. Two Gentlemen of Verona. Actually, this title was of Shakespeare's one of the famous plays, Two Gentlemen of Verona. Later on, it was being kept by A.J. Cronin. A.J. Cronin. Archibald Joseph Cronin was a Scottish physician and novelist. His best known works are Hatter's Castle, The Stars Look Down, The Citadel, The Keys of the Kingdom, and The Green Years, all of which were adapted to film. He also created the Dr. Finlay character, the hero of a series of stories that served as the basis for the popular BBC television and radio series entitled Dr. Finlay's Casebook. Here he has very well carved the idea of selfless help and explained the importance of dedication towards a relationship in the story. The Two Gentlemen of Verona. The story revolves around the two boys named Nicola and Jacopo, who do numerous things to earn money only to pay for their sister's treatment, who suffer from tuberculosis of the spine. The story begins with the narrator driving down the foothills of the Alps. Here is when he first encounters the two brothers selling wild strawberries. Even after the driver forbids the narrator to buy the wild fruits, he buys the biggest basket and drives towards the town. This scene emphasizes on the first step of growing intimacy between the narrator next and the two boys. The boys are found shining shoes in the public square. This amazes the narrator. This is when they reveal the fact that they do numerous kinds of things to earn money. Here, the narrator is shown to develop a soft corner for them in his heart. He finds them to be innocent, serious, pleasant, and earnest. The boys are very useful to the narrator. They are very willing to satisfy all the narrator requires. They are also found selling newspapers by the narrator one stormy night. One day, when the narrator asks if he can help them in any, they say they will be very grateful if they get a lift to the nearby village, Poletta. Although it doesn't come in the narrator's way, he asks them. The boys get down in a building and ask the narrator to wait in a nearby cafe until they return within an hour. Eagerness leads the narrator to follow the boys up to a place which is actually a hospital. On peeping through a room led by a nurse, he realizes that boys are talking to a girl who resembles them. He does not feel like intruding and thus asks the nurse the details about the boys. This is when the nurse tells him their heartrending story about their father being killed in a war and their home being destroyed in the war and their sister suffering from tuberculosis. The brothers live in a shelter and literally starve only so that they can pay for their sister's treatment. So, keeping a secret and helping their sister, they have shown that war has not shaken their spirit. They are noble and gentle and great human beings in their own special yet subtle way. This story distinctly talks about how true the amplification says, where there is a will, there is a way.